It's House Blend on SCVTV. I'm Stephen K. Peoples, your host, and jazz harp star Laurie Andrews and award-winning film and TV composer Bart Simolis are back on the set with me. Now, your last album, After Hours, had an international following. You had fans from Canada, Japan, Europe, and I was curious, do audiences, in your opinion, do audiences appreciate your music more outside of the country compared to United States audiences? What do you think about that?
That's a really good question, and I'm actually kind of sad to say that yes, I do feel more appreciated outside the U.S. Maybe it's the competition that we have here. There's some amazing artists, but I think that they're more open to someone who thinks out of the box a little better there. Also, I guess it's the appeal of having someone internationally travel to your country that does something unique, and I also get asked to teach workshops in different countries to the harpist there. Sometimes it presents a language barrier, but we have translators, and it's quite fun. So
well,
I'm very honored. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If I could just jump in real quick.
Sure.
I just think it's a different kind of appreciation. I think in Europe and Japan, a lot of these folks have grown up with music in their schools more than we have. And with our financial situations, we're cutting a lot of the music programs. And it's a shame for all kinds of reasons. I think kids that grow up in a music program tend to think out of the box a little bit more. I think it develops other thought processes.
Now to shift gears a little bit, you've played for kings and queens and all of this, but I wanted to ask you about your encounter with Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
That must have been very cool.
Actually, I'll make the story quick. I came home one after I had just arrived in Los Angeles from Philadelphia. This was my goal, to come here after college, and kind of settle in. I think I was here maybe 2 weeks, and there was a phone call on my machine from an agency I'd never heard of. They were looking for a harpist. I called them back. They needed someone to get in the car and drive to Palm Springs. Like, don't take a shower, don't put makeup on, throw a dress in the car, throw your harp in the car, and go. So my first thought is, where's Palm Springs? And then So I get to this gig. It was in a private home. And I'm kind of in their ladies' room, their little powder room there, putting a little makeup on, getting dressed, and just trying to, a little extra deodorant, So I come out and I start playing, and the door opens, and Lee Iacocca walks in, and Dinah Shore, and Frank Sinatra, President Ford, Betty Ford, and all I can think of is. So it was such a great gig, but on the way out,
did you pass the sniff test?
No one came that close to me.
Good.
Other than Frank Sinatra. On the way out, he came up, and as I was playing, he kissed the top of my head, and he said, "I hear what you're doing, and I really dig it."
Wow.
And he walked out the door, and I thought, that's it. My life is made.
Yeah, you can go to rock and roll heaven now.
I'm done.
Now, you brought a video to show for us.
Yes.
Can you introduce it for us?
Sure. Pluckin' Blues is from the No Strings Attached CD. However, it was kind of a remake. It got revamped and reworked from an original tune from the suspended CD called Jungle Blues. Now it's called the Pluckin' Blues because I have a husband that just can't leave grooves alone. He's got to try everything, and I love it. And this one it took on such a whole different direction that we just renamed it and replayed it, kind of.
Very
good. But this is the video.
All right, well, let's get in the groove right now with Laurie Andrews and Bart Simolis with the Pluckin' Blues on House Blend. Andrews and Friends with the official video for The Pluckin' Blues. It's a track from her No Strings Attached CD. I'm Stephen K. Peoples, your House Blend host, and we're back in the SCVTV Media Center studios now with Lori, Bart Samoas, and Jim Honeyman. Now, Jim, you're on sax, and you're a member of the jazz harp group. Tell us how you and Lori met.
Well, I first met Lori somewhere back in the 90s during that warehouse gig that
Yeah.
was previously mentioned. But I had known Bart a lot longer than that. Played in several groups with him, and I always loved the chance when I got to play with him. And then playing with the both of them was just, it's always been great. Always had a great time. So.
And I must say, Jim is really involved in a lot of film music, but also he and his wife are both Santa Clarita residents and have a fantastic band.
All three of you guys are Santa Clarita
Yes, we
residents.
are.
We love the local music.
Yes, we do.
Now,
Community.
speaking of which, how can people find out more about your music, where you're playing, how to keep up with what you're doing?
Oh, thank you for asking. Basically, we're all over, with Facebook and YouTube and MySpace, and but generally, all that information is on our website, my website, which is www.jazzharprecords.com. The jazz is one Z,
One Z.
J-A-Z,
Right.
harprecords.com. Thank you.
Sounds good, sounds good. Now, you have one more song for us in this session.
We do.
Tell us about it.
It's from our After Hours CD, and the song is called City Lights, and Bart wrote that. Would you like to?
It was just kind of a quick concept CD based on a night out, in our case in LA. And so it goes through various phases of going out, enjoying, all the different phases of a night. This was the tune of just seeing the bright city lights. And
This is like going up to Mulholland and parking.
exactly.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks to Lori Andrews, Bart Samoas, and Jim Honeyman for joining us on House Blend. They're going to take it home with City Lights. Jim Honeyman, City Lights. That's a favorite track from Lori's acclaimed After Hours album. And that's a wrap for this edition of SCVTV's House Blend. Thanks again to Lori, Bart, and Jim for being my special guests. And by the way, if you perform original material and you would like to appear on House Blend, send us an email. It's houseblend@scvtv.com. With a face perfect for radio, I'm Stephen K. Peoples, your House Blend host on SCVTV. Until next time, happy trails.